When I was a major in the army, I got posted to army headquarters in the military operations. It's one of the most high pressure jobs you can get. So I was about 32, 33 maybe. And my desk was dealing with Jammu and Kashmir. So, and I still remember when I joined it, my director, that means a colonel, I was a major. So the colonel who was my director tells me, you're going to be here for 3 years and you will be tested by fire. That means if you get through these 3 years and do well here, you don't have to prove yourself again, because this is going to be test by fire. That is how difficult it is going to be. And we are talking about the period from 2000 onwards. That was the most intense period of insurgency in Jammu and Kashmir, in terms of the number of terrorists eliminated, in terms of the incidents of violence which happened there. So, which was true. The point what I'm saying here is that when I joined it, I didn't have any experience of that job. But I spent time learning the job. That means if the timing was 9 to 5 army headquarters timing, I would reach at 7 and leave late night, because I wanted to know what the job is. What does it entail? For that, you have to know background information. You have to go through files and files which give you a pattern and a link. That is exactly what founders need to do. They have to be extremely competent in what they do. They need to be, that breeds confidence. You know that I have gone through the background. You know that I have thought it through. You know I have, planned or war gamed it, so to say, for the next 10 years. And I have repeated it not once, I repeated it 10 times. I have searched for lacunas in it. And I have identified what the weak points are. I have planned contingency plans in case this weak point happens. That requires effort.
Yeah.
It requires a lot of hours being spent on it. So what you said, preparation is important. Hard work in doing that preparation breeds confidence and the ability that I have thought through all contingencies. Even then, you may be surprised, but even those surprises you are able to deal with, because the black swan, you call that black swan event occurs. You think, okay, I had thought about it vaguely. I know there are certain steps I can take. So all this breeds confidence. You know that I just need to start this action and I'm confident enough that we will see it through.
Sir, आपने NDA की बात करी. We have heard lot of interesting NDA stories. NDA में कैसे ट्रेनिंग होती है and कैसे perseverance बनाया जाता है. I know प्रेशर को झेलने की ताकत कैसे आती है. So ये सब की बहुत स्टोरीज सुनी है. एक स्टोरी मैं बताता हूँ आपको. मैंने सुना है कि when you come out of the mess after having your dinner, your seniors will tell you to roll on the ground and you don't have to puke.
Correct.
Yeah? That's not a punishment, actually. I would say that's an exercise to build your character. Or toughness. Huh?
Yeah, absolutely. See, NDA has a very rich history, right? And it's a proven model. The product from NDA comes out with all those attributes you require a combat leader to have. So it catches you young. As I said, you're 17, maybe 18 when you join NDA, and by the time you finish your 3 years, you're now matured into an adult, 21 or so, and it takes this period. And the whole aim is to develop character qualities side by side with the professional and the academic acumen which you require a leader to have. So, for example, let me give you as to how it's part of a functional routine. As I said, there are, now there must be about 15 or 16 squadrons. When I was there were 12. So each event is a competition. That means if there is basketball happening, football happening, it's an inter-squadron event. In an inter-squadron event, each squadron has about 150, between 150 to 200 people, cadets. And it is not one team a squadron provides. It makes 7 strings. That means there is a first string, second string, third string, fourth. That means virtually everybody has to play. But the competition is pitched against a similar competition of the other squadron. That means a 7th string plays against a 7th string, a 5th against a 5th, first against a first. So it is the competence matching or skill matching is done. Why is that done? It is because to develop the habit of participation and competition and team spirit. So unless otherwise, and if you just field one team, there are hardly 10 people who are going to get that experience. Here, virtually the entire lot gets an experience of being part of a string and fighting competitively. And why does that matter? Your final squadron standing is the final positions of all strings. So even if I'm the last string and I'm fighting or playing against somebody else, I know my performance matters because that squadron's final position is going to be decided by the performance of each of these strings. Now, let's say I'm practicing for cross country. Cross country is a very reputed or extremely prideful event in the NDA to win that. So the squadron practices nearly every day. You practice, and let's say we do badly in a practice, you are sent immediately back into that 12 to 15 kilometer route. Anybody would think that it is a punishment. It is actually not, because it is now building in a number of qualities. One, in performance, right? You need to do your best. You can't afford to take an off time now when it is critical for the squadron towards the group, because you're contributing towards the group.
Right.
Second, there are consequences, right? For every action, there are consequences. You do well, there are good consequences. You don't do well, there aren't so many, that good. The consequences worse off. Third is to, it develops group spirit. Now, when you're sent again, everybody is sent again. It's not just one person or the weak person. Even the person who has done well goes as part of the group. It brings in a lot of solidarity. It brings in camaraderie. It brings in team spirit. So
what I'm taking from this is, sir, in a startup world also, or in a corporate world also, right? If a mistake is done, we tend to single out things.
Exactly.
So I think that's not the way to do it.
Absolutely.
You have to put the entire team
together in this.
Yeah. And not blame only one person, so that the team next time it builds a muscle memory, and next time it doesn't.
It's more collaborative.
Yes.
The whole issue is, but the point you raise is absolutely right. One of the biggest issues I find in startups, forget startups, in private industry, is this aspect of bringing in contributions from the both wider and deeper. That means you want everybody to contribute to the performance, right? It should not be hierarchical. Hierarchies are fine in a symbolic manner, but ultimately you want participation from everybody. This example I keep giving, everybody says I take feedback. The issue is, how do you take feedback and what do you do about that feedback? So what you said is, in any such organization, when you want the team to participate, you need to function as a team. You need to seek opinions, because ultimately the person dealing with that code is at the cutting edge. The person dealing with selling that product is at the cutting edge. Unless you bring him on board and tell you as to what the issues are, why aren't we really delivering or matching what targets we have set for ourselves, how are you going to improve that in terms of performance? So you need to make it so much more participative. The good thing is, many of these startups are with that culture, a flattened culture. But the participation and the collaboration needs to be encouraged and fostered.